Yeah, hello. Hello, everyone. This is Matt, your chaotic writer, and it's fantastic to see you again. Thank you very much for attending, as I tip that thing down, the next episode of Tales of SEGLESIA, which is session 22. Tonight's session is going to be called The Hawk and the Mare. And once again, I very much appreciate everybody coming out tonight to watch this esteemed session of The Righteous Sacrifice, engaging in yet another adventure. Before we get started, a few things I want to update you with. There has been a change. There has been some adjustments to the roster. We have our esteemed, famous, and wondrous player, that is to say, Roby, played by Larpstrong Carter. Because of availability changes, Roby is taking a leave of absence. Of course, he has been a fantastic part of the stream, and I thank him dearly for being a part and playing with us, and hopefully we will see Roby again in the future. In the upcoming couple of weeks, you're going to see some new faces. There is a new individual that you will see tonight. You will find out who that individual is. This new individual is a standby player. And because this individual happened to be available tonight, they will get their debut tonight. Also, we have a new regular player that will be beginning next week. Secrets. I will not share the identity of the new player or of their character, but I'm super duper excited, and I hope you are as well, because we have some things planned in the near future. Also, a few things that I do want to mention. One quick reminder to everybody out there: remember that there is, down over yonder, over there are channel points, and those channel points have, in one way, shape, or form, the ability to provide some aid to the party. But of course, if you just want to celebrate a moment of roleplay, there is an option for that as well. Feel free to give somebody a shout by selecting the roleplay shout out option. I forgot what the actual full term of it is. On top of that, it is the month of May. It is, well, we're about 5 days into the month of May. Also, it is Cinco de Mayo. Viva la Mexico, everyone. Being that it is a few months into May, I've taken a look at the stream. I've taken a look at the metrics. I've taken a look at trends. And at this moment in time, I need to be able to wield the power of the viewership, to wield the power of the fans, those individuals who have loyally attended each stream, or every other stream, or every once in a while, whichever the case. You are 100% appreciated, and I want to let you know that there is more and exciting content headed in the near future. One of those things that I want to reveal to you is that I have a particular sub goal. This is the first time I've actually had concrete goals for each month. This sub goal will be in the form of 15 subs. That is to say, one more sub from last month. So if you happen to have any Amazon Prime subscriptions that you want to drop, there's always that capability to do so. Of course, you are not required to do so. On top of that, I do also want to point you really quick to one place in particular, because I'm beginning to fully ramp up the Chaotic and Writer YouTube channel with content. So the main goal with that YouTube channel is to reach organically the 100 mark. It has been something that I've been trying to stretch for a while, but not as aggressively that I could have, really. But if you could take just a moment, remember, it's free. You can go down to the doobly-doo and you can click that YouTube panel down in that doobly-doo, and you can go to the panel and click on it, and then go to the subscribe button and click on that as well. And I will love you a long time. Respectfully, platonically. So feel free to take a moment to do that if you may. We already right off the bat have some major developments as of this stream. We got LARP Strong Carter coming in with the 5 tier 1 subs. Time to get this month's goal started. Off to a great start. We have about 25 days left of the month, and we are already right at the point of 1/3. Actually, there should be 6 total, so that should be updated, but that's fine. Once again, thank you very much, everybody. Thank you, Carter, for your support. I sincerely appreciate it. And without further ado, let us go and speak with our prospective players. Boomskis. And we have a total of 4 tonight, as we are in the midst of some reorganization. And as I mentioned, a new player coming in. Phoenix V is out for the evening, so we have our Fatal 4. Let us go ahead and say hello to our friends. Hello, hello. Oh, hello, hello.
Hello.
Shalom.
How's everybody doing tonight? How's everybody feeling?
Good.
Amazing.
It's going to be a great day. I can feel it. Nothing but 20s.
Nothing but
Yes.
20s.
I'm ready for that.
There is, I mean, it is not impossible to get all 20s. It's not even necessarily improbable to get all 20s, because we've all played D&D and we all know the experience of having 120 after another, or 1-1 after another. It is not an impossible feat. As of right now, we have the following 4 players. We have Sean / Blackman Inc. playing as Scoop.
I've been in Elvis' house before.
yeah, Ben. And then we have Ambrose playing as Zug.
Reckless attack.
Okay. There's a little sensual nuance with the reckless attack, but hey, I'm feeling it. Hey,
I just
listen.
love it that much.
We also have LARP Strong Carter jumping right on the channel point system, and you are going to be redeemed a 1d4 health potion to Ambrose. And remember, Roby will always be with you.
Thank you, Carter.
And we will have a, I will say, not this session, but next session, we will have a proper scene, like a proper, goodbye scene for Roby. Because of timing, we are marching forward, and we have next up on the roster, it is going to be Dr. Squiggums playing as Windveer Pendragon.
I've also been in Yuva's house.
I think there is 3 people here in the stream that have been inside of Yulva's house. So Ducky, if you're out there and you are, cracking your knuckles, preparing for an opportunity to, get back at the righteous sacrifice. Sorry, you're in voting. You can't do anything. And if you come back, I'm so very sorry that your house is not there anymore. I'm so in remorse, and this is this is what I look like when I'm sad. It's not a smirk, I promise. This is sad, Matt. Anyways, and then we have a new player. We have a standby player, a player with a character that you have never heard of before. The one, the only, Masters 8, playing as Bala Mitra.
I've been in my own house.
True. As I imagine everybody's been in their own house. I am currently in my own house. And I imagine everybody is in their own house, or a friend's house, or a house that has internet at the very least. So, given that we are here and we are just about ready to move forward, I am going to, fill in the gaps. I am going to, bug you with that typical tradition that I run at the beginning of my stream for the sake of whatever it is whatever the purpose is, maybe just getting warmed up for the stream. I'm sure everybody's energized, but I do have one single question to ask each of you. One question. As I scratch my beard. If you could attend a masquerade, what do you imagine your outfit would look like? What would your mask look like? And what would everybody know you as? What would be your alias? That is to say, asking your characters in particular. I'm going to drop this question first on Dr. Squigum / Winveer.
I was gonna say I'm essentially already playing a masquerade dancer, so I think you already have my answer.
Masquerade that you're going to just be Victor?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay, but what's that? You gotta tell me the outfit. What's that outfit?
My outfit is a very one that shows regal and nobility, but not too much onto it to be blunt to be standing out of the crowd.
Gotcha. So, some level of perhaps decorum, some level of modesty, a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, and I feel as if somebody. Hold on a sec. I'm trying to get into my thing and I cannot. I wonder why that is. Oh, I know why that is. Boop. In the meantime, let us move onward to Ambrose playing a Zug. Now, I don't necessarily know Zug to be the kind of player, or Zug to be the kind of character that is incredibly, used to being at a masquerade. But hey. What are you bringing in that masquerade? What are you wearing as a mask? What is your alias if you have one?
Zug would wear the mask of a minotaur while being bare-chested and using his regular undergarments, I guess. And his name would be Bigger Mans.
Bigger Mans? Even Bigger Mans?
Yes.
Is there such a thing? Is there a man's bigger than Zug?
Yes, the Bigger Mans, Matt.
The biggest mans. Gotcha. Hey. Oop. I ended up getting some audio stuff. Hold on a sec here. Let me change it up. We're gonna move this onward to Black Man Inc. / Sean playing as Scoop. What do you imagine Scoop would do? Showing up to a masquerade, what would they wear? How would they look? How would they act? What mask would they wear?
I like to think Scoop has probably been to a couple of masquerades already, so this isn't out of the normal for him, and he's probably wearing exactly what he wears right now, some form of toga, but it's probably bedazzled, just so he can have more spotlight on himself. The mask that he'd probably be wearing be kind of similar to it'd like be a simple masquerade mask that's similar to like what they'd wear in God, what's it? Oh man, this is gonna like take me back, but like the mask that the guy from Sailor Moon Tuxedo Mask would wear, or like a Persona mask, it'd be like a simple like white mask that would just kind of cover his eyes.
Gotcha.
And because like he actually loves to dance himself, he'd probably be known as like the I don't know the let's go with like the rogue dancer or something like that. The person that has been trying to dance with every single person at the party.
The wandering dancer, the rogue dancer.
Yeah, exactly. He's just the one he doesn't stay with one person for longer than 5 minutes. He's danced with every single person there.
Excellent. And I imagine out of all of our characters, Scoop probably has the best dance moves to bring to a masquerade. Given, of course, I'm not necessarily, given your background as a character, definitely living the life. Moving it onward to our brand new standby player. His name is Master Zate. However, tonight he's playing the esteemed, the fresh out the bakery, Bala Mitra.
Well, Bala would be wearing a very large feathered hat, with probably very clean, straight lined gown. And his mask would be that of a jester with a large smile.
Jester with a large smile. Where have I seen a jester with a large smile? That is to say, in a character that looks like a jester. I feel as if there is another character. That is to say, I do believe you you played a very particular character in the League of Legends one shot that had a jester's cap.
I did, yes.
So hey, I dig the jester look. So I mean, why not stay in theme? I feel like it is a growing brand for Master Zate to wear jester's cap. Anyhow, that's enough of my gab. I guess the only question I have to ask is, I mean, I don't know. It's like, do y'all want to play D&D?
Hell yeah.
Yes, let's play the game.
You wanna
No, we're
play
here to
the
play
game.
Pathfinder.
Well, you can find your path out of here, buddy, because we're not playing Pathfinder tonight. No disrespect of those who play Pathfinder. However, we are playing Dungeons and Dragons. And so we will begin tonight's session with a scene, with a bit of a recap, and then a bit of a very small rewind of the clock. And in order to do this effectively, we're going to need to bring in some of our, typical music that is appropriate for our fantastic journey. So, let us begin. There we go. And everybody in chat, feel free to let me know if the music is too loud, too soft, or Goldilocks. So we return to SEGLESIA. It has been an interesting past number of months. And these past number of months have thusly ended with a bit of a boom. As our esteemed party, the Righteous Sacrifice, is about, that is to say, has engaged in a mission to try to take back a dirigible known as a honey scoot from some of the last members of the Brotherhood of Ascension. After a fierce battle with a recently raised lich and a death knight, our party was able to overcome their foes, but there was danger as this dirigible was set to collide with the Temple of Divinity. Pulling all the stops that are necessary to drive themselves out of this precarious situation, our party was able to steer the dirigible away from its final destination, preventing a catastrophic explosion. In the process, doing damage to the roof of the Temple of Divinity, but finding purchase in setting down the dirigible upon the river that carves through SEGLESIA. Not gently at all, as it took a very drastic crash into the water, and after a struggle against the waves, our party was able to dig themselves out of the rubble and find themselves back at the Cloud Seeker's Spire to debrief with Ahi Waggletop, the individual that had assigned them this mission. At the present, what is certainly known is that certain information has been provided to a fellow of the party, which allowed them to very soon after make a frantic goodbye to the party as they found themselves moving out into the city, down the road, away from sight. You have a sense that you may hear from this party member again in some time in the near future, whether it be by correspondence or whether they may appear again altogether. But whatever this information that has been provided to this party member, this individual has been granted a new sense of purpose. And so that sense of purpose has led them away for the time being from the righteous sacrifice. And so you would naturally find yourself gravitating back to the Roxy and Company headquarters, the location of the mutual proprietorship that is the Adventuring Guild that you are part of. However, before we get there, we need to speak about a certain instance, a certain snapshot in time from the events that have just transpired. Bala, you, within this flashback into yesterday, had arrived at the Temple of Divinity fairly late in the evening. The sun had already dipped over the horizon, and while you yourself are not a religious, not necessarily a religious individual, you have found yourself in more than one occasion coming to the Temple of Divinity, as during the strife and turmoil that has been basically clawing into the city from each direction, from its denizens and from those that are not its denizens, there has been a growing need to assist the downtrodden, to assist the disenfranchised, those that have been refugeed from their homes and other wards. And there is a group of these individuals that have been staying within and amongst the courtyard of the Temple of Divinity, as the Temple of Divinity has opened their doors to anybody that is seeking shelter during these troubled times. And so as you step into the Temple of Divinity, the front courtyard, please present to all of us a little bit about yourself from first glance. How do you carry yourself? What clothes are you wearing? What do you look like? What are your initial thoughts coming into the Temple of Divinity?
So you see a smallish human with dark hair and a dark beard. He's wearing pretty tattered leather armor, but it's very well kept, as tattered as it may be. And he has a lamp that he keeps attached at his side, and a small blue dragon riding on his shoulder. Pseudo dragon. And just looking over the refugees that he sees here, he just thinks to himself, these people need help.
Indeed. Approaching into this green outside of the front gates of the main building that makes the Temple of Divinity, there are multiple carriages, multiple wagons of that bear supplies that have been pooled together by the leaders of the Temple of Divinity, along with different places, different bundles of possessions scattered around this place. There are individuals who have taken refuge in some there are individuals that have taken refuge in tents around the courtyard. There are individuals who have been able to provide shared shelter through covered wagons and other makeshift structures. As of recent, you're noticing that this particular night is seeing a lot more of these structures built, more rugged this time. But of course, it does seem like the number of individuals that have arrived here just seem to be growing in number. And while you have found yourself in previous weeks around the city doing deeds for the downtrodden, for those that need assistance, there is a particular day of the week, night of the week, that you find yourself arriving to the Temple of Divinity to provide general labor, assisting in putting together some of these structures, going to different groups of refugees and the downtrodden and ask them if there's anything that you can gather for them, because there are a few locations in town where you may be able to gather some of those items. And of course, the Temple of Divinity is more than happy to compensate you the difference. I would say after about an hour of you performing some of this aid, a child runs up to you and begins tugging on your pant leg.
Yes. What can I help you with, small child? Do you have a name?
My name's Danny. I don't know if you can help, but I lost my toy. It's a wooden automaton. You crank it, and after you crank it, it moves by itself. I think somebody stole it.
Fascinating. Someone stole it, you say? Where did you last see this device? This toy of yours?
He starts running over to the location and waving you over. And it is back towards sort of the back corner of the courtyard. And he climbs up into a covered wagon and starts going through all of the stuff that is inside the covered wagon. And then as he is in there, it's almost as if this child, Danny, is going through it again, as if they'd gone through it like 5 times, and they're convinced that it might show up if they look again. However, as they're doing this, they're saying, "I can't find it. It was right here."
Has anyone else been around? Did you see anybody in the area?
Well, duh, there's so many people here. But I thought I saw a little dragonkin walk past here not too long ago. He was talking with my mom about something, and then my mom went off somewhere, and then that's the last I remember anybody came around back here.
I look over at my pseudo dragon, Nami,
Mhm.
and she takes off flying in a search around the area, looking for the description that he has uh, let me know that somebody came by, the little dragonborn, dragonkin.
All right. So taking the very basics of that description, I would like you to do a perception check just to kind of scan to see who is here, who sort of fits that description. It's a super vague and broad description, very broad description. So the DC for this will be pretty high. But of course, as a small hint or reminder, you could see if there's anything, any other hints or any other information that the child could provide.
Yeah, just as Nami flies off, I'll ask the little boy one more time. Danny, do you have any more particulars about this dragonkin?
Um,
Were they wearing anything particular? A hat, perhaps? Did they have any scars?
Oh, scars. They were wearing an eye patch. And they
An
were
eye
about
patch.
this high. And the height is just below the height of Danny.
Okay. I will
And
telepathically relay.
they had sort of a limp, and they wore sort of a gray tunic. That's all I remember.
Your memory is impeccable. I will telepathically communicate this to Nami.
All right. As mentioned, please, let's see. I want to double check to see. Please go ahead and make a perception check.
Okay, and Nami has keen senses, so she will have advantage.
Oh, fantastic. You got a 19, which is great because because one of those two rolls was a 1.
Yes.
Yeah, so in this particular circumstance, your pseudo dragon, Nami, was it?
Yes.
Okay. Nami, you first notice Nami take a very broad encircling throughout and above the courtyard of the Temple of Divinity, and then dive down. And they begin sort of a more low-level search where you've and tell me, are they a familiar, or are they just, are they their own?
It is a familiar,
creature?
yes.
It is familiar, okay.
And I can see everything she sees and hear everything she hears.
Excellent. Nami is flying through the air, gracefully, but hastefully, stopping at specific moments to take a gander at their surroundings. Nami floats between structures. At one point, swoops up between the legs of somebody who is simply standing there, and at one point glides over a tent and perches on top of a lamppost. And as they are scanning with a 19, there is what appears to be in the shadowed end of one of these wooden structures, beyond the light, is a kobold who is crouching and is sort of monitoring the people who are moving about, eyeing them very closely. There is what appears to be a bag next to them. It is a sort of a grain sack of a bag. And this bag seems to have some girth to it, meaning that there are a number of things inside of this bag. This kobold, as the description is dictated, has a black eye patch. Does have a gray tunic. But in terms of Nami's ability to get a closer look, I would say have Nami roll a stealth check. All right, let's make sure that we are reflecting the rolls. There we go. I noticed that you are rolling privately.
Oh, am I?
I wonder why it shows up as private. Oh, is it? Do you have it set to public roll or?
I have it. I got it.
Okay, gotcha. Okay, so that ended up being a 21.
Yeah,
looks like. Okay, Nami very stealthily, very silently begins swerving around the corner and trying to get a closer assessment of this kobold. Everything that matches the description and more. You see that there are a number of scars along the tail and along the arms of this kobold. You notice that one of the legs seems to be a little bent out of shape in a very irregular way that suggests that there was at least one or two breakings of this leg. From the teeth of this kobold, that there are a few missing. There is a bit of a stench, of refuse. And it seems to be that there's some sort of symbol or brand just peeking out of the sleeve part of the tunic. History check. Okay. That's going to be 15.
Yep, and it still rolled.
Okay.
That's because I can't read.
Oh no.
And it sets a always whisper instead of never whisper.
No.
So, with this history check, 15, you cannot necessarily tell specifics, but it does seem like this kobold, in particular, that symbol, has some iconography that suggests something nefarious. There's a crossing of swords, and the center of it is what appears to be the skull of a dragon. And it quickly occurs to you that, at least through Nami, that the scent is not refuse necessarily. It's a combination of lack of hygiene combined with a little bit of seawater. But this is the information that you've been able to obtain. So granted these variables that have been placed in your hands, what do you plan to do in this circumstance?
I'm going to place my hand on Danny's shoulder and get eye level with him. Stay right here. Nami has found something, but I don't want you to get lost in the crowd. I'll come back. Don't worry. And I will make my way over to where the kobold is.
All right. Are you approaching at a brisk pace? Or are you just arriving directly to the location?
I'm going directly to the location, but I don't want to seem aggressive. Because I don't want to scare them away.
Okay. In which case, given that this kobold has no particular knowledge of Nami being there, and Nami may still be there or may have vacated the premises, the kobold, as I roll for them really quick, is too busy. You notice that they're too busy eyeing a group of individuals off to the other direction from where you're coming. And you sort of see them provide sort of a hand gesture, sort of rubbing their fingers together a bit as if anticipating something. But you are able to approach without them really paying attention to you.
Okay. I'm going to kind of get as close as I can and attempt to like wrap my arm around in like a jovial gesture and just say, "Good evening, friend."
The kobold whips his head in your direction and says, "Ah? Yeah? Oh, hi. Hello, sir. Hi. Hey, you look like quite the stout fellow. Hey. Do you have anything to trade?"
It depends. What do you have?
Well, you see, I got some very interesting stuff here. Stuff that would be fantastic to, would be fantastic for you, if you have a child or if you know of any individuals out there that are aware of any local daycares. But I got a couple things in this bag here. As he is speaking, I do want to ask you, Bala, what is on you that is visible at first glance?
The lamp would be the only thing that's visible.
Okay. Okay. Hooray! The kobold is... You're going to notice the kobold pauses for a moment, then it says, yes. Hey, I got a few things here. Let me know what might pique your interest. And he ends up digging into the bag. He starts tossing out a couple of things. There's like a broken piece of pottery. It's like, we don't need this. How about this? Grabs a little wooden carved item. And he's like, oh, this would be fantastic. Hey, if you ever wanted to be a musician but wasn't good at it, hey, I know you. I know the type you are. You don't seem like a bard at all. You definitely want to learn how to play this thing. It's simple. Let me show you. And he blows into it, and it's basically like a kazoo. It's a wooden kazoo. It's like, see, simple. Hey. So you got any silver? Because this they don't make a lot of these things.
Actually, I had my eye on something more particular. Do you happen to have something of the wood-carved nature that would possibly be... how do I put this? Automatronic?
because you mentioned. Oh, that's 21 for an insight check. So like, what? Well, what are you talking about? I don't have anything like that. That's way too particular. No, you gotta go find stuff like that on the market.
I would like to roll an insight check myself.
All right, go right ahead.
It is not good.
It's not good. However, they do fail their deception check. So,
Oh god.
there you go. So you just barely get the sense. It's like, wait a minute, they're lying to me. And you can see his like right eye is twitching.
Listen, I don't want to cause any trouble. I just have a kid back here that wants to get his toy back. How's about I give you a gold and we call it even?
Gold? Did you say gold, not silver? Gold? Gold.
And I reach into my back pouch and pull out a gold coin and start flipping it between my fingers. A real gold piece.
The glint of the gold piece catches his eye, and he immediately, you see maybe even a little bit of salivation. He's like, well, do I have just the thing for you? Just let me just take a little look inside of this. And as he says that, you hear a scream. The scream starts as one scream, and then there are a couple of individuals, and then there are some individuals running. You can kind of notice this about 30 feet away. Some of these are, one of these individuals runs past you, and in the midst of this circumstance, you notice as you look up what it is in particular that they are fleeing from. You notice that there is an object in the air. Not just an object, a full-sized dirigible with a couple of large inflated balloons on either side of its ship-like structure as it is careening down towards the temple of divinity. And you see an individual. While you do figure that you make out the appearance of individuals on the deck of this dirigible, you do notice that there's one individual that has climbed to the very front of the, I believe the term is the mast. And as you are peering out at this individual, as I'm going to ask the rest of the party members, I'm trying to remember if it was Roby or Winveer that got in front of the...
Roby.
It was Roby.
It was
Okay.
Roby, yeah.
You see an automaton in a with a cloak hood over his head. On the deck, you see a few individuals scrambling about. You see what appears to be, with your keen eyesight. Well, let's see how keen your eyesight is. Roll a perception check.
May I use Nami's?
Sure.
All
right. 14. So are you sending Nami up to take a look at the dirigible?
As soon as all this happened and we noticed what it was, she would have gone up to investigate because she's very protective of me.
All right. And so, as this is taking place, you have Nami floating up into the air to take a closer look. And you believe, with a 14, you make out a few figures. You cannot tell specifics, but you see what appears to be a more slender individual. An individual with green skin who's quite large. Individual who is just slightly smaller than that large green skin individual who seems to have more of a red hue to their complexion. You see an individual with a large afro, and you believe you see who? Like goat legs? Possibly? And as this is happening, the automaton at the front is waving wildly and saying, "Get out of the way! Get out of the way!" And there are people rushing to try to avoid where it might crash down. The ruckus is as such that you notice that there is a young child, a little orc girl, who has stumbled and is trying to get up. And you're noticing a horse has broken free from its owner's grasp and is rushing wildly, appears to be in the path of where this little girl has fallen. And immediately as this happens, I do want to make a particular roll as somebody else attempts to do something. $22. You feel a tug at your belt. And as you may be tempted to look down, you notice that the kobold isn't there anymore. And you look over and you notice this kobold seems to be making out with the lamp. But you are in the middle. You have a young orcish girl who might get trampled by a panicking horse. Or you can chase after the kobold to get your lamp back.
So I am going to cast Levitate on the little girl.
Okay.
Actually, no, I'm not. No, I'm not.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just going to cast Misty Step and appear next to her and pick her up and get her out of the way.
Excellent. So as you do that, you able to take up the little girl and step just out of the way, and the horse, a very large horse, barrels forth. Please roll a dexterity saving throw. All right. And that will be half of 4. So it just barely nicks you at it as it rushes past you across the shoulder. You definitely feel like your shoulder is going to ache in the morning. And as you are able to get this little girl out of the way, you look up, and as air is rushing past your head, you see the bottom of the dirigible airship just cross right over you and pull up sharply. And as it does, it crosses over the roof of the Temple of Divinity. Shingles and large pieces of wood flying off of its structure. And as you are watching this take place, a cascade of shingles and roof tiles begins to barrel down, and you even see an awning off the edge of the Temple of Divinity begin to collapse. And in a pile of debris, you look down to notice that the kobold has looked back at you and said, "So long, sucker!" and immediately get crushed. And you find yourself now staring up as the dirigible finishes its upward pull from crossing the temporal divinity and flies off into the distance and out of sight.
I'm going to start looking around, making sure that everybody's okay, before running over to the where the kobold was and making sure nobody else got caught in the debris.
All right. You tend to the ones near you, and it seems that after some assessment, some questions, some conversation, it is very clear to you that for the most part, people are fine. Spooked. A couple of a couple of things were destroyed in the acute panic. The horse is still sort of running around the interior of the courtyard of the Temple of Divinity, and there are maybe a couple people with scrapes, maybe a couple with bruises who maybe fell over, but nobody is severely hurt, and thankful for that. However, it does make you not to inject thoughts into your brain, but that is precisely what I'm doing. It does make you think, what exactly happened? Who exactly were these individuals on the dirigible? And who's responsible for this near accident? For who's responsible for the damage to the roof of the Temple of Divinity? And as you approach where the kobold lies underneath a bunch of rubble from the top of the Temple of Divinity, you notice that this kobold is not moving. This kobold is lifeless. And while
I was going to prestidigitate you.
Unfortunately, there is no longer a kobold to prestidigitate. This kobold has deceased. With that said, along with the decease of this kobold, you look up towards its hand and you see the handle of a particular lamp that was once in your possession. And that's all you see is the handle. The rest of the lamp is shattered.
Oh, crap. Dad's not going to be happy about this. And I just start picking up all of my stuff and carrying it away.
Understood. And so you spend the rest of your evening finishing up your rounds, but you very quickly think to yourself more about the incident that happened. And you get this inkling within you that something very dangerous had just about taken place. And as somebody who feels at least partially responsible for the people here, you personally want to get to the bottom of what just happened and understand who's responsible, who, what is the just course of action in this particular case where something extremely dangerous and extremely destructive if it wasn't already destructive, has taken place. And with that, we're going to end that scene and that bit of a skill challenge, and we're going to move forward. Move forward to the day after. The day after, our esteemed adventurers, the Righteous Sacrifice, find themselves once again at the Righteous Sacrifice find themselves at Roxy and Company. And after a morning there, after a brief breakfast, a bunch of you head downstairs to notice that there's a series of bags, there's luggage, and there's all sorts of things attached to that luggage sitting in a spot near the center of the room. And as each of you make your way to the front hall of Roxy and Company, it slowly occurs to you that Roxy Righteous, who is there with some of her esteemed orcish assistants, has decided to finally take up the occasion. She may have mentioned it on and off in passing, but it seems that the past few months of running a Adventurers Guild or Adventures for Hire business has been taxing, and it is time for a vacation. And I'm going to bring everybody to the scene promptly. Of course, you do notice that Orgoth is not there. In which case, because may as well point out to everybody, I don't know if everybody can see it, but at least for the stream, I'm going to point it out.
Orcs have glasses.
They all have sunglasses. That is correct. The thing is that the upstairs of Roxy and Company is a place where there's a kitchen, there's a dining room, there's a master bedroom for Roxy, and then there is a bedroom with a number of bunks. I'm gonna need to have Zug, Winveer, and Scoop all roll perception checks with disadvantage.
I forgot which one's disadvantage again. It's control.
I don't remember the hotkeys. It's not that.
Oh, I forget you could just click it.
Wow, we don't see anything.
Yeah, we didn't see.
And that was a nat 22.
You can't see anything?
I think he means with the rolls.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry. Gotta be more specific. I'm so prone to technical difficulties. I'm sensitive. So, you, as you are sleeping, each of you maybe remembers that is, Scoop is the person who is closest to remembering a moment where some sort of noise happens in the room. And Scoop bats an eye, ends up going, and then looks around, and then just goes back to sleep. You know, nothing's changed. Winveer's there, Zug's there, Orgoth's not there, but who cares? That is to say, he's too asleep. He's too sleepy. But when everybody gets up, you do notice that Orgoth is not there. You figure you remember Orgoth going to sleep. Immediately after getting back, after a few drinks, maybe a couple couple puffs of the super fun weed, and then taking a nap after that. You do remember there being an Orgoth, but in the morning there is no Orgoth. However, at the present moment, you have found yourself wandering, all three of you, into the main room of Roxy and company. And Roxy is trying to, is basically going through with a bit of a, scroll, and is talking to each of the orcs. By the way, you will notice that there is different art for Roxy. Let me quick check to see if I have this art in art on display here. Roxy. If I don't, then I don't. Okay, but you will notice that there is different token art for Roxy with the sunglasses. And Roxy Righteous, this piece of art was done a couple months ago by the one and only Narth. So thank you, Narth, for having put that together. And as she is going down, it seems to be going down this list and is bouncing back and forth between each of these orcs, she says, like, okay, all right. Listen, Brugo, you just ate. You don't need any more food, darling. You don't need any more food. We can eat halfway there. And hey, Zugan, you're you sure you packed up enough stuff? Your bag looks a little light, and so I could carry this thing with my pinky all the way there. Like, there's nothing in there. And Zugan says,
Roxy. Zugan not need bring much. Zugan can find food there. Zugan can find clothes there.
And Roxy ends up massaging her temples a little bit and says, hey, we're not doing any raiding. Okay? This is a civilized vacation, civilized adventure. So, no, you're not, I know what you're thinking. You are not stealing. You are not beating up people and stealing their clothes. So please go back, grab some clothes, put it in that bag, and we'll be set. And then she moves over and says, and Gurak, looking good, buddy. You got everything. And of course, she's going to look over. Of course, notice that each of you are probably looking in her direction generally, and she's going to say, well, you three, it's been a fun time. And hey, these past couple of months has been quite busy. A lot of paperwork from my end, a lot of work from your end. But hey, everybody needs a vacation every now and then. And, I feel like, the winds of change are here. It's time for me to take a little trip somewhere.
Yes, that is a wonderful idea.
Wait, no, it's not. It's a terrible idea. Who's going to be in charge?
What?
If she's leaving, who's in charge?
Well, I mean, here's the thing. I got this for you. And she pulls out of a pouch a couple of keys, and she says, you wouldn't think that I would have just shut this place down and not allow you to come back in. I'm not cruel. Listen. You can help yourself to the place as much as you want. Just don't host any big parties. I'm gonna be gone for at least a week and a half, maybe 2 weeks. And hey, just make sure nothing's broken.
No, you can't leave. We need like a strong women leader to like make sure we don't fuck up.
Oh, darling. Listen, I understand how much you depend on Big Mama, but hey.
Very much. Yes, I do.
Listen, my child. You, I believe in you. I wouldn't be a good mother if I could not determine that all my cubs can take care of themselves at this point. So, hey. Jingle jangle, and then tosses the keys over to Winveer.
I figured. It just catches. It's like, I figured as much. All right.
So if it's sorry. I forgot about something really important. Listen, we got a couple letters here. I got to go through some of them with you. Some, there's a light work to consider. One of these you might actually find kind of fun. Opens up a small letter. This one's from Sandora. Sandora from that partner Thieves Guild that you've made such good friends with. I'll save you some of the lovey-dovey details. There's some there's some sort of like purple prose for some individual called Scoop. Something about luxurious hair and handsome cheekbones and stuff like that. We don't need to talk about that stuff.
Wait, no, talk about it. I want to hear more about myself. That sounds great.
Oh, let's see. I can definitely tell that this person, tried really hard with their poeticism. Stuff like she ends up giggling as she's reading through it. And she says, your lips are as succulent as a peach ripe off the tree. And your
that's facts. Yeah, yes. Keep going.
And she says, actually, no, I'm not super comfortable saying some of this stuff out loud. There's something about hooves and stepping on some fetish stuff, but we'll skip that. Anyways, there's this second. I'm sorry. Wait, how many? Fourth page here. The first three were the lovey-dovey, whatever. The fourth one is addressed to all of you, basically saying appreciating your services as protection for that particular chapter of the rat catchers, and there's some compensation here. Yeah, well, I'm sure y'all would like some gold, so here's seems like there is about 175 here. There is let's see. Yes, the final thing Sandora wanted to say is that Sandora and the Rat Catchers Guild is a little bit in trouble because of increased lockdown and curfews. It seems like the Crown's Guard are getting a little rough on that side of town. She lost some good burglars. They've been imprisoned, and she's mulling over a change in business model, and she had a few thoughts. The Ratcatcher Guild is she's looking to separate. She's looking to basically start her own guild. Was sort of asking, prodding suggestions for names and stuff like that. But then also wanted to talk about a change up in business model. the three options she wanted to present, one was weapon running, one was basically an illegal gambling ring, one was supply smuggling. The weapon running would be like, finding valuable pieces of equipment and weaponry and running them to certain individuals that need it, perhaps somebody of one of the factions here in the city. That illegal gambling will probably consist, she mentioned, will probably consist of a network of small small safe houses and places where individuals can come to take a load off. There's a bit of a risk with that though, because if they are caught, that will probably not be very good. So they'll have to do this very much under the radar. And then third is supply smuggling, which is basically trying to find supplies and reroute them to the people in the city and try to slow down, take supplies from the war effort here in the city. I guess, does anybody have any opinions? Anybody have any suggestions? It's really up to you. But if you want my opinion, I can give you it.
I mean, then should be big.
It's.
Just saying.
I'll send her a sending spell, and they've really figured out what we need to.
Remember, big man.
I mean, personally, I think she could probably sell her feet pics and make tons of gold, but that's just me.
And then Roxy sort of scratches behind your ear and says, "You mean like a pornography ring?"
Yeah, it's all the rage in the streets. Trust me. I saw Winveer looking into it one time. Don't tell him I told you.
I can hear you.
Yeah, he can't hear us. Trust me.
Roxy shrugs and says, "Well, I guess you have a few days to decide. You don't have to determine this right away. I'm just letting you know." She folds up the letters and she sort of hands them over to Scoop, and says, let's see, that's about it that I have here for ya. Well, I hope you all have stuff you can do while I'm gone. Hey, I mean, y'all have been making a network for yourself. In some markets around the city, you barely even need me to make you an introduction. So, that's the way this adventuring world works. That's for certain.
Oh, where are you going to? Could you at least tell us that?
She blinks and she says, "Oh, I'm decided. I decided I'm taking a little trip to Antazi."
It is lovely this time of year.
Oh yeah, Antazi. It's quite the lovely location. Beaches, hikeable wilderness, love.
Huh? I think we need to just stop you in your enjoyable vacation.
Let's see here. Want to roll thing. What's everybody's passive insight?
My passive insight is 17.
17.
Nice.
Okay.
Same.
All right. Well, when she says the word love, she kind of looks up and she's sort of blinking and like silently sort of swooning to herself, but then like shakes her head lightly and then gets back to the gets back to all of you and says, okay, so, I mean, we're about to head out. There's just one last thing I want to provide you. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo, catch the tiger by the... Hey, Zug.
What up?
Roxy pulls out from her pocket a small object. Something that is somewhat translucent and green. And she sort of holds it up and sort of allows it to glint a little bit in the lantern light inside of the building, and the daylight through the windows. And you notice that it is a sort of elongated crystal of sorts. And she pulls down her shades a little. She pulls down her shades to show her eyes, and she says, "I'm gonna leave this with you. Can you be a darling and make sure that this thing doesn't get broken?"
What the fuck is this?
It's just it's a little gift from me to you. It's nothing sinister, baby. It's just it's just a little token, but it's something that I need you not to misplace. I need you to keep it on you.
Okay.
Have I seen anything like this before?
You can certainly do some sort of knowledge check.
What type of check?
Some manner of knowledge check. Nature. Oh, good, interesting choice. And you got a 20. So, with the flavor of nature, you notice that this crystal is very similar to some translucent quartz-like stones that you've seen in the past. In some rarer parts of certain cavernous regions. It's not very often that one finds stones like these. And you remember from your tribe, which is the Floaty Rock tribe, that sometimes the seer of the tribe will send one of the youngins out to go into one of the caverns to find one of these. It was part of like a small initiation ceremony, just a youngin going out by themselves, not being allowed to come back until they find one of these. And this one in particular is obviously polished up. There is not any blemish on it. It looks like it is well cared for and well taken care of. From that nature check of 20, that is enough for you to determine and remember that the seers of your tribe would take these and would do certain magical things with them. And you remember hearing rumor between stories and rumor amongst your tribe on separate nights about how every single night after a seer would receive one of these crystals, somebody would claim to see a spectral version of the seer walking around the wilderness, peeking in through the walls of the huts. And nobody could prove it, and the seer would never admit to it. But it was always part of the tall tales of the tribe, which indicates to you that there's something about this particular crystal and this particular rock that has some sort of a callback ability, summoning the presence of somebody or something. And because you got a 20, I guess it would make sense to you that that if she is giving you one of these crystals, then she is ensuring that you have some sort of route to summon the presence of something or someone. The only other hints that you have from Roxy is a wink.
Zug's going to wink back, but with both of his eyes because he can't wink, and he's going to slowly pocket it.
Okay, I'll try to keep it safe. But Zugmansk is very. I like to throw myself against doors.
Just as Roxy inhales and is about to say something, y'all hear a knock at the door.
Yeah, we're closed.
Bala. You find yourself at the front of the Roxy and Company building. It is not hard for you to see, just peeking through the the small windows on each of the doors, that there are people inside, despite the fact that the front doors the front doors are closed. They're not necessarily locked. But as you knock on the door, you hear somebody shout at you that it's closed.
I open the door.
All right. So you open the door. And what do you do from here? Are you able to control your token, by the way? Good. Just making sure.
I stop in and I said, the leg. I knew it was those legs. Of course it's a satyr.
Of course it's a guy that just can't follow the rules and just barges in. Who are you?
Follow the rules. I didn't follow. I wasn't the one who nearly crashed a dirigible on top of the sanctuary.
Yeah,
Okay.
Neither were I. I don't know who the fuck you're talking to.
All right, ladies, you're both pretty now.
Oh, that's like the nicest thing you've ever said to me when we're.
Exactly. Now, sorry, you barged into our establishment in a hiff. First introduce yourself, at least courteously.
You see all three of the orcs sort of step forward, and the one in the middle cracks their knuckles. Like,
Have this. Do not worry. Zug, do not do anything right now.
No, Zug, keep going.
Goop,
Yeah.
I have this. Sorry about that. Associates are a little bit interesting. Mind if I get your name, please?
sorry.
My name is Bala Mitra, and you
Bala
cost me my
Mitra.
lamp.
I mean, there's lamps in here.
He says this as he shoves a lamp into your face. Do you know what I had to do to get another one of these?
No.
I had to
don't
talk to
care.
my father.
That sounds horrible. Talking to men suck.
Very sorry that happened.
Don't apologize to him. You didn't do anything wrong.
Shh. Me handle the scoop.
No. I'm sick of people just coming in here yelling. We didn't do anything. We actually saved this damn city, and we need a little bit of respect.
That's what I was about to explain.
Well, hurry up and explain. I'm gonna go take a piss.
Well, say, Ollie, was it?
Bala.
Bala, very sorry. Bala, I'm very sorry that you had to explain the situation. It's caused more familial problems. But like one of my associate already said, is that if it wasn't for us being able to actually move move the craft out of the way, then most likely that entire temple would have been destroyed, surrounded by poisonous gas, and you would probably be dead. Not everybody else in that area, if not the whole city.
And what exactly was the reason for the cause of the falling dirigible?
Let's just say it involved a very, very powerful and evil individual that wanted to destroy all that is life.
Insight check.
I'm not lying.
I believe you. Okay, I believe you.
No, he utterly
wasn't lying.
believes him.
Well, I mean, I still listen as a DM. If you weren't lying and they're doing an insight check, they're still doing an insight check one way or another, and it's okay. The insight check tells more than if you're just lying. So all they can tell is that they believe you. If they would have succeeded a certain DC, then they would have not only to tell that you're not lying, but that there's other information implied by your conversation. So just to clear things up.
Yes.
You see Bala stand up straight and kind of press his shirt down, take a deep breath. Then I sincerely apologize. I was unaware of the circumstances that nearly killed me.
Allow me to finally introduce myself. My name is Victor. Victor Kaiser. And welcome to this fine establishment we have here. Now, seeing you have other pressing matters instead of just having the barge in.
I was just investigating upon what the reasons were behind the falling dirigible, as many individuals were nearly killed in the incident. Thankfully, only one death, and that of my lamp.
Oh dear. Roxy speaks up. She's like, "Oh, who passed?"
A kobold. I didn't get his name. He was a thief, so don't really
Hard-handed
not
on
really
it, but
hurting for it. So
it's still. It doesn't matter. Anywho. With that one, looks over back at the orcs, just giving a nod like, you can put away the fists. Roxy, you said you were still needed to get everything ready for vacation, correct?
Oh yeah. I mean, we got most of the stuff here. We got Zugan, who's properly packed his bags this time, and Zug, honey,
What?
Zug. You can
What?
stop with. Listen, I can
Roxy,
hear you.
Roxy,
I can hear
I'm
you
trying
still
to
cracking
intimidate
each of
them.
your fingers. You're crack-
Yes.
But how many times can you crack your fingers? You've done it like. What is up with your cartilage?
He
I
drinks
do
a lot of milk.
of training. Yeah.
Do you have any cartilage left in that hand? Oh no, he's doing the other one.
Yeah. I've broken concrete with these before.
Oh
Yes.
gods. Hey, you three. Listen, just start grabbing the bags and head out. The carriage is going to be here not too long. As she says that, all three go up, decide to grab the bags, and this is where I actually start taking the bags physically and start doing this to them. And they start hauling the bags out the front door, past where Bala is. One of them gives you a mean mug and starts growling at you, Bala, as they pass. That'd be this one.
Just slowly nod my head to each of them. Again, sorry for the intrusion. Sorry for the misunderstanding. Just keep the dirigibles away from the people next time if you could.
We didn't plan on doing that, but duly noted.
And you keep your fist away from that door from now on.
Brugo, just leave, please.
Okay.
Zug nods at Brugo, respectfully.
Brugo looks back at Zug and gives him the 2-finger salute and gives like a nod with the sunglasses on, like, yeah, brother, yeah. And and moves out.
Orc shit, yeah.
So we're out of toilet paper, so I just didn't wipe.
I hope you have prestidigitation for that.
Oh
Nami.
yeah, I do.
Good.
What's wiping?
It's something nobles do. Don't worry about it.
I don't like double mans.
You know, I've heard gnomes talk about this thing called a bidet, but like in a world filled with magic.
Is that Elvish?
That is, see, gnomish, elvish. I believe it might be elvish. Seems really fancy. I've never tried it before.
Yeah, that's definitely Elvish if it's fancy.
Well, Roxy, don't you need to be going? You just see him just kind of like bridging in between his eyes, like.
Really? Are you, I mean, I've never met this individual before in my life. Hello, how you doing? The name's Roxy Righteous, and you said your name was Bala, was that correct?
Bala Mitra. And he takes a deep bow.
Bala Mitra. So as my esteemed, as my esteemed partners in I wouldn't necessarily say crime, I mean that by metaphor, but my partners in crime here, otherwise known as the Righteous Sacrifice, you may have heard of them before.
I have not.
Roll a history check, as a matter of fact.
I have not.
You have not. You don't read a lot of broadsheets. You don't read a lot of the Seglesia Herald. So Roxy basically says, "Well, this is an adventuring guild, and these individuals, these handsome and big mans, are proficient in the art of saving lives and saving property when it's possible. So it's very likely that you noticed their attempt at, of course, not destroying and hurting people, but their attempt to prevent that from happening."
I did notice their deeds, though at the time, I wouldn't say they were heroic.
Well, how heroic a moment when you are in the middle of trying to keep a dirigible from careening into a bunch of people. I would say the heroic gesture is succeeding at that with minimal damage to the structure, and poor kobold, the gods rest its soul. But as my understandings in my conversation with the individual who had provided the tip to the culprit that had stolen the dirigible, they were planning, the ones that these individuals were confronting were planning to do something far much worse.
Then I suppose I am ever in your debt for saving the citizens of this city.
Well, I mean, it's just another day's work for Righteous and Company and the Righteous Sacrifice. But I, in particular, am about to take a vacation. You seem like such a stout individual yourself. If you've ever considered joining the ranks of the adventurers, the chancers, the mercenaries, all of those individuals around the city doing good and gaining a little bit of gold, then here's my card, baby. She slips a thin but robust card to you.
Why, thank you. I do have my own personal deeds that I must attend to, but should you ever require further assistance, I would be more than willing to help.
Oh, well, if that's the case, I'm going to be gone for about 2 weeks. These individuals, they're the ones you want to talk to. So, hey, pleasure meeting you. Also, everybody, I want to once again thank you for these fantastic past couple of months. I'm going to be back before you can say banana cream pie. But just like banana cream pie, I'm going to be melting under the sun. So I want to make sure that y'all have things in order here. Make sure that the place is taken care of while I'm gone. You can basically close up shop when you're not here. I've had some talks with Ahi Waggletop, and Ahi had suggested that she was going to install some, you can say, automated defensive capabilities to the establishment. You might get a visit from her in about a day or so. If you're not here during that time, she'll just go ahead and install them, baby. It'll be as secure whether you're here or whether you're gone. And if you need a place to rest, a place to eat, you got the keys.
Thank you very much. It's informing us that we're about to have defenses for this establishment.
Oh, I'm sure Ahi's got all these things planned. It's not intended to, make things dangerous for you. Follow up with her if you have any questions on that. But of course, I'm behind schedule. Looks like the carriage is heading up the way, and I guess I should ask while we have a few moments here. Turns around and looks at Scoop. So, been a few months. What do you think about the arrangement, huh? What do you think about this, the adventure in life?
I mean, it could be worse. You get to see a lot of people, see a lot of things, put people in their place. I kind of like that aspect. But, I'm cool with it for right now. It'll do.
Oh. You get a little bit of renown, get a little bit of catharsis in putting people in their place, no doubt. But also, some fan letters. It seems like you got one. So wink, wink to that, buddy.
Oh, wink, wink, wink right back at you. I saw what you gave to Zug. Wink, wink.
She winks one more time and then slips the sunglasses on. And she says, well, I'm off, so let me know if you have any questions. You only got a few seconds.
I do want to, before she does leave, while she was talking to them, Scoop wants to put the gold that he got in those letters in her pocket.
You want to put the 175 gold?
Scoop does not take money from women.
I'll give them.
Oh my
Nope, they were in the letters. Scoop has it. He's putting it in her pocket.
So much gold.
Give it to the
Put
poor
it
old.
like this. Put it like this. I'll be fair. Scoop will put his share of gold in her pocket.
How much gold did we get?
I just assume it's divided by 4, 5.
175 divided
175. So, I mean, it would be divided. Ooh, I chose a bad number.
Yeah.
Listen, yo. let's see, 5 people were involved in that. So why don't we say
200.
you drive a hard bargain. We'll make it 200. Everybody gets 40 gold.
So yeah,
No.
I want to stealthily put his share of gold in her pocket while like she was talking. Do you need me to roll sleight of hand, or does it just happen?
You roll a sleight of hand, but for flavor.
Okay.
Please run that one.
It doesn't matter if you guys see or not. Scoop is open about this.
Gotcha. So we got sleight of hand check 13. You're successfully able to slip it into her bag. She doesn't show necessarily any signs of having noticed it, and she starts sauntering her way towards the door, opens the door, grabs it, kind of does the stance and waves her hand in the air and say, "Stay strong, you beautiful people. I'll be back before you know it." And close the door behind
Bye,
her.
Roxy. Guys, she's so hot, right?
Yeah, I think she likes you. I think you're in.
Oh. Good.
Please do not try to fraternize with our boss.
Whoa! I mean, she just came off the head.
Yeah.
I don't care. I do not care at this moment.
She objectified me first.
Yeah, you see how she was looking at him? It
Look-
was gross. She was looking at him like a piece of meat.
Look, it's just in the morning. I haven't had my tea yet. Could we please have that first, and then we could talk about this.
Well, maybe we'd be having tea if someone didn't interrupt us.
Yeah, so
what?
rude.
Fine point.
I can see that I've overstayed my welcome.
No,
I
no,
will
no, no,
bid
no.
you.
Shh. No, it's fine. Yeah, Bala. Yeah, Bala was it.
Yes.
Yeah, come help me. Figured we gotta start and make the morning tea. I got this one imported from some place out in Arcana, Allenford, I believe it was. Probably a good blend. All right.
Trebelin. I just made up a name because
Yeah.
Arcana is mostly uncharted. Trebelin. That's gonna go in the oops list.
All right, and just gonna walk over to get ready for my morning tea.
Zeg will be right back. Zeg will take a piss.
I love how
watch out in
in our campaign people do actually express their bio breaks, because you always watch, you don't matter what, you always watch TV shows, you always watch movies whenever there's action happening or dialogue happening, but nobody ever catches the fact that these people go to the bathroom. This stream, this campaign does not pull any punches. This is real life, baby. People
see
go
what
to
you
the
did there.
bathroom in this world.
The stream, wink, wink.
Yeah.
Stream, wink,
See what
wink.
you did there. I'm picking up what you're putting down.
But yes, I'm gonna make the morning tea, so I can actually wake up.
Oh yeah, if you're making eggs, I'll take mine scrambled.
Well, I wasn't really going to make breakfast all that much. I was just gonna go with more of a lighter lunch, a lighter breakfast, if you will.
Oh yeah, gotta watch that elven figure, I'm sure.
No, it's still early in the morning, and I'm not a heavy eater.
Yeah, exactly. Watching your figure.
Whatever. Oh, doesn't matter at this point. Bala, come on. 'Cause I'm like trying to walk, still snapping.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So.
You will actually, as a matter of fact, notice as you know, as is typical, because hey, Winveer, you typically around this time have tea, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a normal thing?
Yeah.
Would it be plausible that Roxy picks up on this and has already readied a thing of tea on the counter? Or is that above and beyond? I'm just thinking how Roxy's trying to get ahead of everybody's
Well, the whole thing is that on off days I stay here because I normally live in Volta Land.
Mm-hmm.
So is that just her having that ready, just been like, oh, you are. Thank the gods, Roxy.
All right. There is tea already set out at the counter with some mugs ready.
Start pouring it through as I hand a cup over to Bala. I pour one out for myself. So why were you over at the I wouldn't say it was I'm gonna say my own parcel, the cathedral district, if you will.
I often spend my time helping those in need. I was over there doing my usual rounds, making sure that structures are being built and people have a place to call home for the night.
A philanthropist, I see. It's good. Oh, very sorry that we caused any trouble that comes with there. I'm sure once everything gets tidied up within the city, my lord will try to give some compensation there.
I would hope so.
Yes. But anyhow. Oh, I am rather peckish, as you see him just take like a little piece of bread.
Mm-hmm.
So, considering we still in here, and Roxy does have a little bit of an interest within you, I just cut to the chase on this one. What did you bring to the table?
Well, what is it that you need? I'm more than willing to assist in anything that may benefit the greater good.
Dialogue. Well, it was more specifically, considering we are an adventurers guild. She did take interest in you being a member of the Adventurers Guild. In terms of that, your combat capabilities. Looks of it, you're not so much that of martial yourself, so...
Yes, I'm not much of a fighter. More of an evader. But I can hold my own if I need to.
Alright. It's a little bit easier there. But for some reason, you just see a journal just pop out of nowhere with... You just see him start writing things down. Well...
As you are glancing in your journal, your eyes will likely skim the interior of that journal, of course, reminding you of certain pieces of business. And you are reminded, of course, that this evening is the evening of a particular meeting. If you could, just for my own knowledge, but of course knowledge of those nearby, could you recap how this meeting, how you scheduled this meeting, I guess within allowable context up to a certain point when you were comfortable, who potentially you scheduled this meeting with, and how you have engaged in communication?
So it's mostly throughout the months I've been using sending spell to various benefactors, acquaintances, associates, if you will.
Mhm.
Tell them to meet up in within a safer location for us to be. Not anything that would probably be within an area that many would know of them.
Mm.
Because if they're within within those locations, then it might lead to worse things. So it was more of picking more of a middle ground, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
With it, so it was more of a going out in a tavern within the outskirts of town, right? I guess the north of where we are.
Mm-hmm. So given some prepared content, one thing in particular that I would like to update you as a DM in concerns of this information. Once again, you're sending spells, short 25 word or less messages to creatures that you are familiar.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing about the message spell is that it is to creatures that you are familiar. It doesn't necessarily say in the wording that if you receive a message that you know exactly who it's from, but you can, if you're familiar enough with them, that
I say my name constantly with it.
Right. And over that time, in like fashion, you have received responses here and there. One thing that you have written in your journal is that you did actually receive. It was late at night a few nights ago, so you barely remembered writing it in your journal. You basically received the sending, wrote it in the journal, and then rolled over and went back to sleep. But now that you are looking through your journal, you realize that you did receive a sending in the middle of the night while you were sleeping a few nights ago. And that sending had basically said, in 25 words or less, from an individual whose voice is a little bit familiar, but you couldn't put your finger on who it was exactly. The message said, change of plans, meeting to take place in warehouse in Marshall's Way. Bring not only yourself, but all of your associates. New matters concern all of you.
Oh. Right. Look through there. All right then. Without further ado, I believe you make with the qualifications. Welcome to Roxy's Righteous Company. We're joining the division of the Righteous Sacrifice. For the time being. As I'm hanging my head.
Welcome, small man.
I didn't realize this was an audition, but thank you.
Well, it's more for the fact it really wasn't supposed to be, but things are starting to come up, and truth be told, at this point, she'd just be happy to have another face around here. She's always been looking for new members, and who knows, maybe you might be able to branch off and start your own little venture sect here in the Roxy Righteous Company.
Well, as previously stated, I'm always happy to help.
All right. With that though, I shake hand, and I look back at the other two. So I look back at both Scoop and Zug. All right. Well, congratulations. We are being summoned by an associate of mine.
Oh,
Oh no, noblemans.
I mean, what happens if I just don't go?
I would personally have to kill you.
I'd like to see you try.
Me too.
You know, you just act nicely. You don't have to like treat me like a dog.
Maybe a
Treating you.
police.
You just up and tell me I'm randomly being summoned by some random person and expect me to automatically follow you. Could you like give me some details at the very least?
At the very least, it is a matter of information.
What information?
Secret information. I will tell you when we get there.
Okay, because if you don't tell me, this is just gonna go bad. You know that, right?
Yes, and don't worry. I at least know there are going to be a couple of women there.
What that's supposed to mean?
Considering the fact they usually ogle to that of the ogle of most women you see here, I'm just saying it's probably an incentive.
I mean, yeah, because just women are better than men.
I state my point. It's fine. I'll be nice. Can you? We need to go, please.
Speak a mess.
Right.
Yes, Zug?
Can you give the gold so I can buy armor and then the go?
How much?
I have no idea how money works.
You know what? I'll just go with you. Make things easier.
I mean, you could just go steal the armor. That's what I would do.
We are not doing that right now.
So later.
Yeah,
No.
later.
You often make a habit of stealing.
If I need
These
it,
two.
yes.
Yes, you do. But all right. I'll go with you, Zug, to at least pick up the piece of armor. Scoop, would you be able to entertain Bala for us for the time being?
Oh yeah, we got plenty of lamps to entertain this guy.
All right, and I need to need to get everything ready for tonight. All right.
What do we gotta wear for this? Do we gotta like get all snooty and preppy and stuff?
No, in fact, the less you're recognizable, the better. I would say most likely get a cowl, hood, hide the afro, and get yourself plain clothes.
No, I'm not gonna hide the afro. I'll change my clothes, but no, that's who I am.
All right.
Trust me, I clean up nice. I just don't like doing it.
Well, it doesn't matter have to be snooty. It's more for the fact you have to look
Like
you
you?
should, not like me, not even close. You have to look. I guess in the common tongue, as common as possible. Peasant, laborer.
So I gotta look like Bala. Pretty common.
You know what? That works.
You?
Yeah.
Just take the compliment. All right. Now, Zug, we should probably get that armor now, cause this is a very time-sensitive matter.
Yeah, let's go.
I love it how I can pull back as a DM and just let y'all go. Okay, so it sounds like you're gonna do just some brief pickup of a couple pieces of armor and clothing, and at that point you're going to, when the time is appropriate, head to that location after sundown.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
In which case, there are some nearby locations for armor, but of course, probably the most notable location that is near you would be the Firbolg, who's an individual that you have met up with recently, who also offers armor, weapons, basic wear on top of the services that she provides for reforging. If you are to take a trip there, essentially, just let me know what sort of things you want to pick up, and we can deduct that from your character sheet.
I'm looking for a breastplate and a shield.
Breastplate in particular. Let's
yes.
see. Breastplate, 400 gold pieces, typically. But of course, because you have assisted the Firbolg in the past, they are granting you basically a deal at cost. So it is going to be 40 gold pieces less. It's going to be 360 gold pieces for you.
It's the shield.
For the breastplate, at least.
No, I'm essentially Zug's patron for right now. What's
How much for the shield?
You're the sugar daddy right now. Got it.
Much.
So breastplate, and then what else? You said shield?
Yeah.
Let's see, 10% off of the price of a shield. Not shield spell, shield equipment. Shields are 10 gold, so it's just 9 gold pieces for shield.
All right.
Okay, so pretty much this is what it looks like. Can I ask the Firbolg to do a quick customization on the shield?
What sort of customization are you asking for? It really depends on what it is.
I just want it written "fuck Iroas" on the shield. That's pretty much it.
That's it. Yeah, just fuck another god. That's the only thing I want.
Fuck Iroas.
Vermogus! Yeah!
God forbid he might worship that god.
So fuck Iroas, is that going to be across the front of your shield?
Yeah,
All
I
right.
imagine like a large round wooden shield with just "fuck" and bottom text "Iroas."
All right. How do you want that embellished? You want that in paint? Do you want that in like sort of? Do you want that burned, like burned into the
I
shield?
want it burned.
Marked.
Yeah.
Once
Okay.
it marked.
Marked.
Like
Gotcha.
my brand. Yeah.
All right. She says that customization will typically take 2 gold, but this is the first time you've ever asked her for a customization on shield, so she'll do it for free. But she looks back. The Firbolg looks back before she heads into the back room and says, "The next time I will have to charge you though, but here's your free one." You basically see through a bit of through a window that she actually puts on a bit of a face mask and manages to light up a brand and then uses the brand to etch in what kind of fonts do you want? Do not say Comic Sans. I will not allow it. Comic Sans is banned.
I'm definitely about to say Comic Sans.
Oh no, I'm doing this in.
Fonts.com.
Oh no, I'm gonna make it even better because since I'm the one paying for it, I'm gonna have
Yeah,
it written
sure, you pick it.
entirely in Elvish.
Motherfucker.
Hey, I told you there was a price to pay, and I thought this would be funny.
Fucking Wendy, I'm gonna
So,
kill you, dude.
once it gets done in an extravagant script, which makes that is so decorative and so stylish, it would make you weep if you knew how to read Elvish. And I don't remember, Zog, if you knew how to read Elvish.
No,
No.
Does
not
it?
at all.
You have written in Elvish script on the front of your magnificent new shield. Fuck Iroas.
Let me see how it looks like. I'm looking up Elvish translation.
Yeah, Winveer's just chuckling to himself right now.
In the meantime, let's see, you picked up a breastplate, you picked up a shield, any other things that you're looking to pick up?
That's pretty much it. But Zug's still bare chested, but he switched out his common warrior's garb, skirt like thing he used to a better breastplated one, like metallic things imaging. So he still has his brand out and his chest out, at least in my mind. So yeah, that's pretty much it.
Understood. So you make that particular customization and put it on, and it fits you fantastically for your build even. And you have this new shield, although you look at the script and you're like, I guess that makes sense. But then you think it over and you think, hey, that means that you get to selectively piss off any Elvish that worship Iroas.
Yeah, I kind of like it. Thanks, Speaker Mans.
No problem.
Is Scoop in need of anything?
I'm adding the items. to my thing.
Not really, and we don't have to roleplay it, but he still doesn't know what this meeting is about. But he would stop by the Thieves Guild just to see, is there anything that is needed to be stolen from valuable people, because he's expecting he's going to be hanging out with royalty, so he's going to see, is there anything that they need stolen?
The Sandora seems to be away from the Thieves Guild at that precise moment. However, you are met with Three Fingers, who is a Hanu, who comes up to you and tells you that Sandora is waiting for a decision or answer on suggestions of change of business. And in that case, that should most definitely determine what kind of supplies they need. However, until then, they will absolutely, positively need they will absolutely, positively need any mercer supplies, things like weights for gold, or you've heard of this nifty new thing that the gnomes have invented called a register. Any particular things that would be necessary for a storefront, which would potentially be the front of whatever nefarious thing that they're doing.
Copy.
So if you can come across any of that stuff on your journey, or whether it is with a five-finger discount, or you just figure out a way to reach out to a supplier for that stuff, then that will go a long way to making the new operations of this guild much more convincing.
Okay. That's it. That's all Scoop would do. He would just kind of be hanging out until it's time to meet up.
All right. Excellent. So, Bala has likely been accompanying either Scoop or Zug and Winveer. And Bala, you kind of feel like an intern. You just joined up and you're trying to figure out what the hubbub is about. What is this meeting? But is there anything in particular that you need to pick up?
No. Bala's just kind of following around like a lost puppy. He doesn't know what he's just gotten himself into. He was just checking up, making sure things were straight, and now he's with a gang.
A gang. That is for sure. So, in total, what is spent during this little shopping session is the amount of let's see, you had $9, or sorry, 9 gold pieces for the shield. You had 360 for the breastplate.
Already paid for it.
The branding was free, so that came to about 369 nice gold. And are you now at the point of heading to the location, because the sun is now down over the edge of the world?
Sun's
I'm,
getting real low.
Yep, we're got to the point. Let's go.
All right.
As you're seeing Winveer putting on his disguise kit to look like even more common than he normally does, taking out his monocle. It's kind of like slinking in with it.
Hey, speak commands.
Shh.
If they ask too much, just say I'm your bodyguard.
Figured.
Oh, is there going to be a problem with getting into this affair?
Getting the fair, no. You saying anything, yes.
Would you be more comfortable if I just weren't there? Like there, but not there?
Probably. You can stand outside if you want to.
How about this? Just in case, just in case things go down, take this, and he hands you his lamp. I'll just be in here, and if anything goes wrong, I'll pop out. And he snaps his fingers, and he is sucked into the lamp.
Fascinating, but I digress. As I now just. I'll probably explain to him later how he does that, but anywho.
Oh, as you were about to leave there, Zug, the Firbolg comes over and decides to basically decide, hey, here's something, just as a complimentary thank you. Provides you a little token of appreciation. It is a coin, but it's a sort of a rarish looking coin. It says plus 1d4 on it because the Mind's Eye has provided you a 1d4 roll using channel points.
Ooh,
Yay!
And so you are now each headed off to the location where the meet is set to take place. This is located at a warehouse in Marshall's Way. If you recall from recent, Marshall's Way was the site of some very strong turbulence between the Royalists, which is the political front of the Crown's Guard, and the Reformers, which is the political front of the Vanguard. And so you have been very keen to try to be as quiet as possible entering into this part of the city. It is later on in the evening, and things, at least for this particular night, are quiet. However, I would like everybody to do a collective stealth check.
oh my god.
The DC will not be all of that high, but if there's a lot of failure, it could mean something.
Quick,
Do I still
quick
need to
question.
roll?
Yep.
Did we get a long rest?
Oh, you would have gotten a long rest. Yes, so please take your
Okay.
long rest.
Just check it.
Alright. Here we go.
Stealth.
Since I'm in the lamp, do I need to roll?
Since you are in the lamp, you do not need the roll. That just means one roll less in the average. which
don't
could
want
be
this
helpful
ring
or
of damage.
harmful. So let us move onward to our new location. As you peruse the streets at night, you see yourself walking from avenue to street, from alleyway to alleyway, under the light of lamps hanging from their respective locations. Some outside of closed storefronts, others hanging off of posts, and some of them having been put out altogether. And as you find yourself getting closer to this location, you do notice that you seem to be heading towards a very particular building. A very nondescript, a very unassuming warehouse building. And as such, you each do find yourself standing as you feel some drops of water upon your heads. Entering into the space, you notice that the rain is just beginning to come down very lightly. It is not likely to soak anybody. However, these drops are certainly making your trek in this direction a little bit more uncomfortable. So I pivot over to the scene in question. Roby is there, but he is actually not there. Oh. And Orgoth is not there either. It is the three of you and a particular individual in a particular lamp. Who is holding the lamp presently?
Bang.
You are?
Yes.
Okay. So, as you stand at this corner, you realize that you are soon approaching the broad end of this warehouse. It is a warehouse of 3 stories. It is of a traditional architectural design of what some people would consider the better days of the monarchy. Its base is of stone, but above its base, it's of strong timber. And to your right, as you approach, you realize that you are very soon approaching the doors.
I mean, now seems like a good time to tell us what is going on.
Let's just say, look,
Oh,
setting.
I want to apologize. This is not the right map. I made a mistake.
Oh.
Why does this map even
Start
exist?
running around.
Oh
Start
my
running
God.
around. Look at all the secrets.
Yes.
Open the doors. Close the doors.
No,
Open them.
this is the map right here. This one. I don't know why I have 2 of the same map. I'm sorry, y'all.
That's fine.
You arrive at the warehouse. And as you step out, you immediately see somebody standing at the corner of the building adjacent. And while you are all walking with stealth, this individual leaning up against the wall, stands up, heads over, and all of you do recognize that they are wearing the fatigue of a City Watch individual. As he waltzes over and says, "So what exactly are you three doing out here at this time of night? Shouldn't you be indoors? It's looking like it's about to rain."
Well, I do enjoy a good walk, but you're probably right. Now, everybody, I think we should all go inside. Sorry for the intrusion.
Yes, it's freezing.
And don't forget,
Not sorry.
it's fine. I look over back at the guard. I go, and tell the lady, thank you.
I am uncertain of what lady you are referring to.
Lady Luck, of course. Being so helpful. 'Cause I'm a...
He steps forward and he looks at each of you. He studies each of the three of you, and he's gonna do one insight check. Oh, well, that's not how that works. Roll 1d20 plus 4. With a 9. All right, well, so that's going to be at random. Oh, lucky him. You notice as he looks between each of you with shifty eyes and piercing gaze, he looks to Winveer, looking his garb up and down, then looks over to Zug, and specifically to the shield, and sort of cocks his head a little bit.
Huh, you like what you see?
He blinks a little, but does not answer. He manages to look back towards Scoop, and he does this thing where he heightens his stature a little bit, and he leans a little bit to the left, past the both of you, just so he can get a good look at Scoop.
I mean, if you keep staring, I'm gonna have to charge you.
You see him with an absolute poker face. No response whatsoever. He takes a little bit of a prolonged stare at you yet, and then decides to finally lay his eyes to Winveer and say, "On a stormy night such as this, one is best served at the hearth of where they were born once upon a time." And the way that he says this, Winveer, he does it with hand gestures, which you very quickly pick up to be thieves' cant.
So I understand that?
Do you know thieves' cant?
Yeah, rogues automatically know thieves can't.
Oh, gotcha. Wait a sec. Hold on a sec. I thought Winveer knew thieves' cant.
Nah, it's but I can read between the lines.
So essentially this, what that 1d4 was judging which of you three to try to address or attempt this with. So essentially, Scoop, you see that he is trying to communicate thieves' cant to Winveer, but then you realize that Winveer might not be the best person to communicate thieves' cant to.
Okay. Scoop would you would actually just hear Scoop say then, what are you doing outside yourself if it's about to rain? But he's actually saying, I guess in Thieves Can't, I'm the one you're looking for, Buster.
He narrows his eyes a little bit, and he says, there are stray dogs about, lurking between the trees, eyeing from the canopy. And as he says this, he gestures in your direction. Who of you identifies with the hawk?
It's a good thing Winford told me information.
I was about to, and then this happened.
Scoop not knowing, but he's just going to dart his eyes at Winveer. But he does not know, but he's playing it off as he does.
So that's you're suggesting that it's to Winveer in particular?
Yeah, as he says that, he's like looking around, but his eyes are kind of like looking at Winveer as he's just randomly looking around to not give it away.
You, Winveer,
Hmm?
in the middle of this strange conversation that's being had, notice the watch member get uncomfortably close to you
Poker face.
and
Entire time.
stare you up and down. And says, winter is not the last time that strangers have come from the mountains. Gesturing to you, Scoop, where is his sigil?
Scoop is going to say out loud, he's saying out loud, I guess. God, how do I want to word this? Look, if you can't help us, buddy, we're gonna have to get going. It is raining after all, but he is motioning that. I mean, he obviously keeps it hidden.
Mm-hmm.
You wouldn't just leave something like that out in the open.
Persuasion
Come on, you're
check.
better than that.
Yeah.
Come on, Big Rose. Big bro.
He's decent at persuasion.
Nice.
Okay. 19's good. 19's good. Once again, this individual, poker face, direct stare at you, and then the Windeer, and then eyes over to Zug.
He says in Thieves Can't as he looks at Zug. Meat shield. You know what I mean.
With that, he turns around. He goes to the door, and he puts a coin down on the ground, and he sort of kicks the coin underneath the door, and then he begins to waltz away from the front door, taking basically like a truncheon, like a small club / quarterstaff, and begins scraping it very gently across the wall as he walks away and around the corner. And with that, you hear unlocking mechanism from the other side of the door. and the door barely creaks open. And an individual with a cloak and a cloth mask bandana over their face urges you in.
All right.
You guys are good to go.
That's all three of us. Come.
Mhm.
That coin does look shiny.
Don't touch it.
I
In the
knew you
means-
were.
In the meantime, Bala, what is it like in your lamp? What is likely taking place in your lamp as this is taking place?
So inside the lamp is basically just all of my belongings, which isn't much, as I'm usually, not in one place for very long. But it's just plush and comfortable. But I do hear everything that's going on outside, and I am as confused as all get out. I have no idea what I've gotten myself into. They're talking about the weather, and I heard some scraping.
Must be sort of suspenseful almost.
Very.
So as
I do one quick thing.
sure.
As we're kind of going in, he kind of comes up behind Windveer and he's like, "If you don't tell me what the fuck is going on, I can't keep lying for you. I need some information, or else we're not getting through this."
Fine. Just
Spare me the details. Just tell me what I need to know.
need to know is that I'm a member. I'm to be trusted.
Within the interior of this warehouse, the individuals you are seeing are not simply standing still. This one is going back to a seat, a post near the door. There are a couple people that are moving items here and there. There is somebody here which is sitting down and playing basically a game of solitaire. This individual heads over in this direction, looks directly at you, Windveer, nods,
Not back.
and starts heading down in this direction, sort of waving you down into that direction.
Yep. All right. I wave back at my associates. This way.
If there is any type of like typical thieves camp that Scoop would have picked up in like this area, he would be like giving them signs to let them know that he is cool. As we're walking, what the fuck is the hawk?
Hawk is code phrase.
Obviously.
Before you, oh yeah, no, continue.
Well, no, it was the code phrase of who we are. Watch. I look back at the other individual right next to me. Give him a nod as I do a little light 3-tap, like a specific 3-tap on the door.
So this is a curtain, not a door.
I thought it was a door.
This is, well, it's a door symbol, but there isn't a functional symbol in Foundry for a curtain. So it's a door. So it's a door symbol.
Oh shit. Never mind then.
Of which I just have set to locked, just for the time being. So the operative who basically brought you here is looking amongst the three of you. And this individual is going to move up and sort of say, you can keep your weapons. Just empty out your pockets and show us what you have in your possession. You can put it back in your possession after you've shown us.
I am a weapon.
As as you kind of see this, you actually do see like Winver actually pull out his pistol, put it directly at Zug's head, and you go, "What? Another word?"
Zug not scared of a fiery slingshot.
Click.
Did you shoot at me?
Oh, click. Pocket it.
It's like that's the wrong click.
Right.
Well,
Cocking.
and that was the end of the righteous sacrifice, everyone.
Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. It's just cock. Just like,
Click. Damn it.
yeah, cocking. As you see Winver just taking, putting his leer down, doing some of his other stuff. As you see it, it is a symbol for both Tabalta and the Hawk.
Mm-hmm.
Zug has
well-
nothing.
So Zug doesn't have anything on him that is like in his possession, in his pockets, or anything.
Only gold.
Okay. One of the operatives sort of moves over here, kind of steps up and over onto some of the crates and sort of crouches down and looks to Scoop and says, "What do you value?"
Scoop is still not having enough information. He's gonna like narrow his eyes and look at him. He'll show him his short sword, but he's not gonna willingly show the dagger he keeps in his hair.
Weapons are fine. Just empty out anything else in your pocket. Sending stones.
He doesn't notice anything peculiar with your with the dagger in your hair. One of the operatives looks over to Winveer and says, "What's this?" Gestures towards the lamp.
And to be clear, it's just an oil lamp. It
Yeah,
looks like
it's
an oil lamp.
Oh, it's just an oil lamp.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. Yeah.
Look at it, just a lamp.
Yeah, there's nothing peculiar about it. Okay. They both look at each other and nod. And the one below takes a coin of his own, brings it up to eye level with everybody, puts it on his thumb, and then flips it up. And it flips up over the other side of the curtain. And after a few moments, the curtain is open. And the operative on the other side steps out of the way and gestures everybody inside.
Everybody in.
Before Scoop goes in, he's gonna take another hard look at these guys. Doesn't like people telling him for him to show his weapons, and he's just looking at it and he walks inside.
All right. So within, aside from the one operative on the other side of the curtain, you see three individuals. Winveer, you recognize these three individuals. These are three individuals that you have had some correspondence with at some point within the past, I would say the past year. They are known for a few different things, but each of them are members of the same organization. One, the person to the north of you, his name is Akil Saladian. And he is a ebony skin-toned half-elf, of whom you know is somebody who is an organizer of the particular organization up near the areas of Red Chapel and Thorntown.
Hey Matt, DM question real quick.
Yep.
Would Zug recognize Slash? Is this the person back in Autumn Rock that was a criminal photo?
Is that? Well, Winvir knows that individual by the name of Mandala Voidhunt.
One.
Not the same individual from Autumn Rock. Not the same.
Okay.
That she is a tiefling who, Winvir, is somebody who is very proficient with flame, and somebody who is part of a smaller ring of this organization that likes to engage in sabotage.
Perfect. She's my girl.
She's the one to go to for that. She's not necessarily the most combat proficient, but she knows the way of certain wards around the city and knows and always keeps track of targets to hit. The person across from you is a drow named Zelga Silversight. She is somebody who has their ear to the floor when it comes to the affairs of ear to the floor as to the affairs of those in the more center wards. She's had a small network of individuals that feed her bits and pieces of intel. Amongst these three individuals, you know each of them as lieutenants of this organization, of which it may be time, as it is going to become evident, for each of your compatriots to understand more about who these individuals are, what organization it is, and why and how you are associated with this organization.
Well, it's the cat's out of the bag. Mongoose finally got bitten. So, as I turn to everybody, I'll turn to my associates. Welcome to my little family. Welcome, the Vanguards. Now, as I turn over back to the drow, look over there. It's like, But any chance the lady or Gavin were able to show up here? Did I talk with them soon enough?
Zelga looks between the both of them and says, I believe first you had some business with us.
Yes. You were the one that sent the message.
That was not me who sent that message, but we, in proper order, you are the first individual who had a need to talk. And before we share any updates with you, it is best that we resolve business in order.
Right. And what is left to be in order?
I believe that you initially put together this meeting because you had certain insight or arguments as to how the Vanguard and the Reformers were performing their work during this troubled time.
That is true.
So what criticisms or intel do you have for us to adjust our tactics precisely?
Very simply, as I look over at looking at my girl, the tiefling. It's very simple when it comes with it. The problem is right now is that is definitely tell the other sex as well. You're not playing up to your strengths. What you're fighting against is not only somebody that has a high amount of supply lines in order to be able to actually fund themselves, also have that of soldiers counting that of the crown's guard. Fighting is of course very important with it, but you're not taking up to the advantage in which we have. I have laid out a plan that has high, if nay, an absolute probability of us actually achieving victory. Start walking over. As like walking over, I go to the table and start laying out like a map of Seglesia. Well, first and foremost, we have been doing too much fighting when it comes with here and here.
Where are you pointing in particular?
Pointing over the recent battles they had.
Okay, so that'd be
like
West's, Hearthgate, and Marshall's Way, where you're at.
Yeah. Problem is that you're fighting up front in an uphill battle with somebody who is phrasing here, going to bite you in the neck. These are those people with high amount of power. Instead, properly fight it with So, right over here, and all these businesses that are compared to that of the Loyalist are being funded. They have supplies. Able to fight as it is to take care of that supplies. Hit and runs, only selective targeting of it. Now, the other problem too is we're not taking our opportunity of oratorio, that of rising with the people. Where we are is just fighting through. Instead, we have to think farther than that. Just conquering for conquering's sake, we're nothing more than that of Greymont, or Hitterlander, which is going to be a problem for them, considering the one with the supply of that of agriculture. They're the ones with the farmsteads. So, need to do. God damn it, Scoop. But yeah.
Oh, that's under his breath.
Okay.
Yeah, but it was
all right.
the whole thing is he's pointing out, it's like we have to do is actually reconstruction when it comes to Greymont territory of agriculture. It's been hit by, of course, the loyalists. So it's probably smarter for us to bring our arms, at least those that are able to have magic, usually that of plant growth variety, would be able to help with the crops. Gives us a chance to resupply, to give nourishment to our troops. Now, with that as well is once we hit their supplies and not able to actually resupply themselves when it comes to their troops, they can't move as quickly, and there's going to be a high level desertion. Hungry bellies make angry people. Now that's the other thing we need to work on it as well. If we're able to hit the various supplies when it comes to loyalist areas, we can have or at least be able to stir up the people in order to be able to actually get them riled up. Why do we have them riled up? They're going to be able to bring in force. Now, Tybalt and Victorious don't really want to bring in their own people. That's why I've set them up to get up with the Sentinels. The Sentinels will come in, but then you can rally them as a force that is going within their community, which then can rally up more, which then brings it closer to your side. Nothing will get somebody under the fire than an angry mob.
You hear a laugh, actually. It's not coming from Zelga. It's not coming from Mandala. It's coming from the north of you. And the laugh, after the laugh, it starts as this like chime of a laugh, and then it's a little bit more of like a hearty belly laugh. And then you hear sort of a slightly more refined, perhaps even more regal voice speak. And this voice says, I warned each of you that if you got him started, he wouldn't stop.
Yes.
And at that precise moment, you see the curtain to the north of you open up. And as the curtain to the north of you does open up, this is an opportunity for me to show to everybody some new and fresh art from Mare that I have
Oh,
commissioned.
is that what you were hiding?
This is, well, I have more art to come because there's more NPCs to come. But listen. It is finally time in Tales of Seglesia for me to make the triumphant return of certain important and key NPCs from Shadows over Seglesia. And so, at this present point, as the curtain rolls, as the curtain is pressed to the side, you lay your eyes upon an individual of particular level of garb, somewhat of an aristocratic, yet sort of a bit of an aristocratic attire, and someone who, through the hood that they are wearing, you notice is very gentle. I wouldn't say gentle, supple. Is that the term? Quite fine features in the complexion, in her facial makeup. Brown hair, sort of a dark tinge to her skin. Lips that are curved, sly, like that of a you almost get the impression of a Cheshire cat in some degree. As this individual steps forth, I want everybody to roll a history check.
I get advantage.
I would say you get advantage. I mean, for you, you probably are going to recognize this individual.
Probably
right
anyway.
away.
You're like me to roll at disadvantage, so all I can hear is the voice.
Yeah, yeah. I would say that's fair.
Nope, haven't a clue.
Scoop never forgets a pretty face.
Let's see, Scoop. You might be not super keen on the noble families and all the details like that. This stuff is, there are nerdier people who like to study the history of the noble families and who everybody is. However, you do in particular, to your downtime, have taken an interest in who's who in the present when it comes to notable members of different noble houses. This individual is a member of a noble house. They are the daughter of the patriarch of this noble house. Somebody who is much more pronounced in their beliefs of Reformation. And it has been hinted for the longest time, before the Civil War, when there was only conjecture that the Reformers and the Vanguard were connected in some way. She was the individual who seemed the most lion-hearted about the cause of the Vanguard. And to that I am referring to the individual known as Constance Denil, of which I get to show everyone the brand new funky fresh art from Mare for Constance Denil.
Ooh,
Nice.
It's good.
she has two different colored eyes.
She does have two different colored eyes. She gracefully steps forward to the center of the room, and she takes a stance where she extends her right leg to prop up on her more casual, to sort of prop her more casual left leg, in sort of like a tilted hip kind of stance. I don't know how to describe it in tone, but it's like it's boss bitch, right?
Yeah.
And she stands there and takes a look at everybody and takes a look at Winveer and say, "And what makes you think that we haven't thought of that?"
Well, I figured you needed just a second voice of it.
Oh, got him. I was under his breath. Indeed, can't.
Persuasion check.
But, I digress. It's a pleasure to see you again, Lady Constance.
Persuasion check. You're not getting out a persuasion check that easy.
I wasn't planning to. At least get an advantage.
Just persuasion.
All right.
19's pretty good. There's a sharper sliver to the smirk upon her face, and she says, and she looks to the others, and she says, "I've been arguing some of those points for weeks, and it seems like it's a little difficult to get some humanitarianism in this front."
Well, right now, truthfully, it's a war. Sadly, war does not determine who is right, it only determines who's left. Speaking of which, as he pulls out Yova's journal, I believe this is in order.
She looks down and she says, What and whose exactly is this?"
I believe it was one of the higher families, the Bakers. Someone with the name of Yilva.
Ilva. And I gotta remember again what Yilva's family's last name is again.
Yeah.
She states the name of the house in sort of a question tone, and she grabs the journal and begins looking through some of it. She silently peruses through it. Continue saying what you're going to say.
To say, powerful individual seems to be running seem to have run a lot of a bad luck, if you will. But,
I can sure agree with you. I do believe that house is no longer there.
Well, let's just say a snake that never looks back can never see its own tail being eaten.
She kind of looks up at you with sort of this look where it's like, is he joking or is he being serious?
Answer is yes.
And then closes the journal, and then decides to glance over to Zug and glance over to Zug and Scoop and say, "You must be completely bored and confused out of your mind."
Answer is yes.
No, I'm much better now that you walked in.
So, she acknowledges what you've said and sort of like gives a tilt of her head, and she's like, "Oh, really?"
Yeah, you kind of just radiate big dick energy.
With saying that, you actually see Winveer actually start looking at you with daggers.
She goes ahead and says, "Well, if it wasn't apparent from the words of Mr. Pendragon here, this is a meeting of the Vanguard, particularly those who believe that the tyranny of the king cannot go on for too much longer. Even in the absence of the king, in his coma, his cronies and lackeys in the Crown's Guard, and those in the royalist faction are doing whatever it is possible for them to keep their power at the expense of the people. And the ways of tyrannical autocrats and corrupt oligarchs must come to an end. And it is the sole belief of the Vanguard that it is upon us to rise up and to make this a nation, a kingdom that views all individuals respective to their needs and respective to their well-being, that everyone gets representation. We fight for the end of kings.
It's quite interesting. It's more than he looks to Victor. Has told me since I've known him. It's good to finally get some information.
Well, I wouldn't necessarily trust Winveer if he wasn't as tight-lipped that he was, although I will say at certain points where he is not tight-lipped, he is anything but.
Oh, he's quite uptight, all right, I'll tell you that.
She kind of looks sassily over at you, Winveer, and then over to Zug and Scoop and say, is that your third or fourth set of ears?
I would still say this might be my fifth.
I was referring to those two.
Those two? Ah, yes. Well,
I'm sure that they've had their ears talked off several times over.
it's
Oh,
more.
I already learned to ignore him.
Zog is a very simple man.
Oh, hush, hush now, Winveer. I merely jest. I'm aware of your tendencies, and you are a valuable member of the organization.
I will say, though, that these says that any of my associates that I did bring in here are to be very trusted. If I didn't bring them along and haven't killed them myself, then why would I have them to begin with?
Indeed. I do apologize, but after some kind of remote viewing of the circumstance here, I couldn't help but sense that there was, well, potentially another individual in the room.
Scoop begins to chuckle.
Zug does as well.
That is a fanciful looking lamp that you have there, Winveer.
Mm-hmm.
Might I borrow it for one moment?
Relux. Very well then, my lady. Do be careful.
I would prefer you do not say the words, my lady. They don't ring very well in my ears.
Scoop chuckles again.
You hand over the lamp.
Mm-hmm.
She looks over the lamp, sort of brings it up to her eye, kind of looks at it long ways, and says, it's an unassuming specimen, if I would say so myself. Oh, seems you have a little bit of dust here on the side. Here, licks her thumb, rubs it. Let me get that. I would say and therefore ask Bala, what does it take to get you to leave that lamp?
It is a bonus action of my own accord.
Okay. It is not a traditional genie lamp where one rubs the lamp and whatever's inside it leaves.
It is not.
Oh, God damn it. That's what I was trying to do. She realizes that nothing has happened and she looks at it. She's like, oh, well, this is quite a good lamp. Quite a robust lamp, if I don't say so myself. She turns it upside down and starts shaking it a little bit.
Fucking lamps.
Paula is hanging on for dear life.
You can come out now, dear.
Well, there goes my trump card.
Bala emerges from the lamp. Hello. You, 3 wishes?
So
You don't have to go with the charade.
If you
It's always good.
try your luck, you'll be lucky to get even one from me, dear.
I can only see my token now.
You can only see your token? You're the only individual you can see?
Yep. I could see everything before.
Oh dear, oh dear. Well, I have to go ahead and set your vision to, let's say, 90 and 90. Doesn't really matter. Can you see now?
Yep.
Okay, fantastic. So, she hands the lamp to you and say, I believe this is yours.
Thank you, madam. He takes the lamp. And
I also
kind of
do not prefer madam.
Scoop cackles.
Yes, sir.
You may call me Constance, or call me Miss Deneau. But no need for madam. No need for milady. No pleasantries. You can regard me as Constance, as Lady Deneau, as Miss Deneau, or
Big lady.
as well, you can refer to me as General if you wish.
I'm very sorry I keep calling you my lady. It's just more for the fact as well. Fact is that Lady Larania prefers to be called my lady or madam. She's very stingy with it.
In any case, Winveer, you have provided selective input on locations that you would say are probably the most efficient to strike with our next campaign, and I have been keen, as we have been keen to hear them, but we have other matters to discuss, unfortunately. Well, each of you known that more than 3 months ago, there occurred a disaster of highly volatile proportions. A disaster of magical proportions struck our city those months ago. In the dead of night, under a sudden storm that brewed over SEGLESIA, centered upon the Arcanist Inquisition headquarters in the center of the city, which is a group known to push the boundaries of magical knowledge. They had found themselves in the midst of a psionic storm, a cataclysm of their own making. Even at this time, the details of why the explosion at the top of the headquarters building and the source and result of the magical barrier that surrounds the place now, it's completely unknown. Even with the extensive network of spies and informants that we have in the vanguard here in the city, it has been very rare that we find insight and information about what precisely happened at the Arcanist Inquisition headquarters and what the exact cause of it was. The broadsheets, the Seglesia Herald claims that it was a ritual gone terribly wrong. However, it is the appropriate time that I've called each of you here to this meeting because your expertise is in great need at this very moment. There are plenty of details that the Seglesia Herald and the public do not know about what happened, which we were able to obtain some knowledge. The short version is simply this. We need a group of highly capable and highly trained combatants, such as yourselves, with no direct affiliation with any particular faction, to enter the Arcanist Inquisition and to uncover the truth.
I wonder what Dace's pet project would be.
You would think that this is some sort of pet project of the head of the Arcanist Inquisition, Dace. But it seems a little bit more complex than that, from what little information we have.
Good.
There are a couple who have claimed to have verified, to at least some degree, the source of this disaster. Two individuals that were able to escape the Arcanist Inquisition before the explosion and before the magical barrier came up. These two individuals were apprehended promptly by the House of Inquiry. That is to say, the investigative branch of the Crown's Guard. And while one of them revealed this information to the Crown's Guard under, well, let's just say, laborious circumstances, our force has managed to discover the other escapee and gain information before they died of poisoning. From a crossbow bolt shot at them from the dark. The individual that was there to witness it, the operative of the Vanguard that was there to receive the information, thought that they had seen an individual bearing such a crossbow, that they were of a dwarven stature, but was not able to determine anything else. As it stands, through all of this explanation, there are 4 key pieces of information that tie this entire series of events together into the mission that I'm about to bestow upon each of you, if you wish to accept it naturally. Before I begin, before I go on, if anybody here does not feel like they are up to the challenge of entering a location blocked off from the rest of the city and the rest of the world, where support from the outside world will not be able to come to them, where the threats within might be numerable and may be unrelenting. If this is not to your capacity as individuals, then I bid you farewell, and I allow you to leave.
Sounds fun.
She smiles at your response, looks over to Scoop.
I'd do anything for you, General.
Instantaneous loyalty. You have to love it.
Only to
Since-
you. And he winks.
Fucking Scoop.
She sort of does this. She sort of does this thing where she raises her head with sort of closed eyes and sort of looks at her fingernails and says, "I propose, or I suppose that there is certainly room for a satyr in my ranks."
You never met one like me. Trust me.
Well, I'll be able to see what you can do quite shortly upon your entering into the Arcanist Inquisition, no doubt. And of you, Winveer, if you are not up to the task that I wish to provide to you, then I do bid you farewell.
Why would I ever say no, General? Meaning to
nods.
figure out what it means to happen in that tower anyway. It might actually help us to get Archibald onto our side.
All right. And she gazes over to Bala, finally, and says, through what information I've had of this troop, I don't believe you have been mentioned in any of that correspondence.
No, I'm kind of new. Don't really know what's going on, but I'm always willing to help.
If such is the case, and if secrecy is amongst your talents, then as long as the other individuals here trust your word, then I may
Not
proceed
really.
with you at present.
I mean, I have many secrets.
As everyone in this room certainly does. Everyone in this room.
I don't.
Oh, come now, Zug. I do believe you have some potential former ties that you wish to tend to in the future.
Well, yeah, sure. It's not a secret, though. But yeah.
Well then, if I have the attention and the acknowledgement in the consent of everyone here in this room, as she gazes to everybody, you included, then allow me to provide you details of your mission. And with that, everyone, we have reached 10 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 a.m. or 9 p.m. Central Time, which means it is time to wrap up this session of Tales of Seglesia as our adventurers leave off right at the beginning of their mission briefing. Their mission, as they have chosen to accept it, go into the Arcanist Inquisition headquarters and get to the bottom of why the disaster happened, what caused the disaster, and what remains a threat to the city of Seglesia. Ta-da! That's the end of the session. Our current players for tonight were... let's start with Ambrose playing as Zug.
I don't understand what just happened.
Oh god. You know, Zug is a fantastic 100% needed boy during battles, but when we have a secretive meeting with important people who are trying to run a faction, Zug is scratching their head and they don't know what to do.
True.
On top of that, we have Sean / Blackman Inc. playing as Scoop.
I got a hot date tonight.
You've been getting a lot of hot dates recently. A lot of prospective hot dates. And then, of course, we have Dr. Squiggums playing as Windveer Pendragon.
He picks.
Who has been officially revealed to be, as you can put together, a sort of double agent for House Tabalta and the Vanguard. Background secrets revealed finally.
Yes.
I get to update your character rotator to reflect that finally.
Yes.
And then we had our standby player, new player, Masters 8, playing as Bala.
I'm so sorry.
I don't know what's going on. I want to get out of here. But I've apparently signed a contract now, so, yikes.
There may be yet an opportunity to play the next session with, I don't know. I think the next session would do well with 6 characters. So if we want to incorporate our standby player yet for another session before we go into the normal 5 individual quota, that I think for the upcoming session makes perfect sense. But of course, let me know, Masters, at a later time, not now, if you would be available to play next week. So these are our players. These are our characters. Once again, I want to thank everybody for coming out and for watching Tales of Seglesia. Once again, a few reminders. Thursdays at 5:30 p.m. Central, 6:30 p.m. Eastern is when Tales of Seglesia takes place on this channel, twitch.tv/chaotic and writer. If you haven't already, please support this channel. Help me get to 300 followers. On top of that, I'm also trying to get to 15 subs for this month, which is one more than last month. So if you have any, Twitch Prime subs, or if you have just subs in general and you want to support a channel that you have enjoyed the storytelling of, feel free to support that way. Also, one thing that is 100% completely free, that is my gift to everybody. It is a free gift. Your capability and encouragement to go to the YouTube and hit subscribe, which I'm also trying to get to 100 so that I can have an official URL. I'm trying to do it organically, without follow for follow and all that nonsense. So if you could support me in that way, that'd be fantastic. Also, each of the individuals here, all of the players, if you want to see their fantastic reactive images again, please attend next week. Next week, we'll have all sorts of fun and exciting things in store. I promise. So I'm going to leave it off here. It has been a pleasure and a privilege. And I, Chaotic and Writer, will see y'all in the next episode. I'm going to put characters on mute, and I'm going to do a raid to another channel, and then I'll join back up with the characters. But if I may have the righteous sacrifice, say their official goodbyes to the stream and to chat.
Smell you later, chat.
Have a good night.
Bye. Thank you for the inspo.
Goodbye, everybody. Okay, they're muted. We could be alone. I've wanted to be alone with all of you for so long. It was eating me up inside. I wanted just to spend time with you, chat. But in honest, let's get a raid going. How I typically do this is I find somebody who is in the thick of things when it comes to a Dungeons & Dragons campaign, or if they're doing a world building session, that's even better. So let's pivot over to my chatting live screen. Hello, hello. The chat has vanished, but that's okay. And I am going to investigate super quick for us as we do, let's see, screen capture, bum, bum. Find somebody within the fantastic Dungeons and Dragons network, of which to raid. And we don't want to find individuals that would certainly benefit from the 12 plus viewers that have decided to attend this magnificent stream. Basically anybody that is 12 or below. So let us be selective. Let us provide and seek some quality entertainment. Map making and spooky house. Hello, somebody's doing map making. Would you like to tune in and see what the map making individual is doing? This individual's name is Sad Boy Swobes. And briefly, that's an ad. And briefly, I'm going to be popping in to their fantastic stream. People are raving about the map they're making. I want to see it after this ad finishes up. This ad's taking forever. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's just make sure that they are properly responding to individuals. Well, they are. So, here's what I require of all of you. Let's bring it in. Let's bring it in. Come on. Come on, everyone. It is time to raid. So, please gather your swords and your shields. Brandish your might and cast your spells, because we are about to enter the realm of a channel unlike any that you have ever seen before, brought to you only by Sad Boy Swobes. So, are you ready? Let us support those within our Twitch Dungeons and Dragons community, and let's make it a loud and vibrant community. Please go to this individual stream as soon as I hit that enter button. Provide follows, provide conversation. Doesn't matter how long you stay there, just provide some support. And let them know who sent you, Chaotic and Ryder and the troop of the Righteous Sacrifice. It is time. In 8 seconds, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3. I will see you in the next episode. Let's go, my friends. It's time to raid. It's